Hello and welcome to Functional Skills Maths Level 2. In this session, we'll be looking at carrying out calculations with numbers up to 1 million, including strategies to check answers, including estimation and approximation. By the end of this session, you should be able to understand multiples and factors, use approximations and calculations to provide sensible estimates, and use inverse operations or inverse calculations to check answers. If you multiply one whole number by another whole number, the result is a multiple of both of these numbers. For example, 5 times 12 equals 60. 60 is a multiple of 5 and also 12. Multiples can be made by multiplying a number by any whole number. The numbers in the 2 times table are all multiples of 2. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, etc. And the multiples of 10 are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. A factor is a number that divides exactly into another number. So, with 5 times 12 equals 60, 5 and 12 are both factors of 60, because when you divide 60 by each of those whole numbers, you get a whole number. So you can see in this list, these are all the factors of 60. So again, factors are the numbers that divide exactly into something. The factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. You can see from this list that all of these numbers would be factors of 12. For instance, if you see there 2 times 6 is 12, if you divide 12 by 6, you would get 2, and so on. Which of these numbers below are multiples of 4 and which are multiples of 5? Here's a list of numbers: 41, 50, 48, 75, 60, 39, 24, 40, 85, 80, and 36. So let's look on the next slide and see which are multiples of 4 and which are multiples of 5. So here are the multiples of 4. And they're all multiples of 4 because, for example, with 48, 4 times 12 is 48. 4 times 15 is 60. 4 times 4 is 24. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 20 is 80. And 4 times 9 is 36. And here are the multiples of 5, because 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 15 is 75. 5 times 12 is 60. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 17 is 85. And 5 times 16 is 80. Which numbers are multiples of 8? Here's a list of numbers. And which numbers are factors of 25? In other words, can be divided by 25 without a remainder. There's the numbers there. So let's look at the next slide and see which are the correct answers. So 80, 48, 32, 16, 42, and 64 are all multiples of 8. And 325, 400, 625, 750, 645 are all factors of 25. When you're dealing with large calculation, you sometimes need to make an approximation to check your answer is sensible. For example, in a restaurant, Jenny's meal was £39.80 and Anne's meal was £31.50. They estimated the total bill will be around £70 by rounding Jenny's meal to 40 and Anne's meal to £30. The estimation was 40 plus 30 equals 70, and the actual answer was £39.80 plus £31.50 equals £71.30. So the estimation was only £1.30 out. General rule to rounding is if the number is at 5 and above, you round up. If the number is 0 to 4, you round down. If you're rounding to the nearest 10, 3450 would round down to 30. 3650 would round up to 40. Katie works as an HGV driver and drives around the country. Last week, she travelled 630 miles on Monday, 590 miles on Tuesday, 80 miles on Wednesday, 512 miles on Thursday, and 115 miles on Friday. How many miles did she drive last week? So the estimation is 600 plus 600 plus 100 plus 500 plus 100 equals 1,900. And if we add up all the actual amounts, it's 1,927. The table below shows the price of printers from different suppliers. So company A, the price is £739. Company B, it's £687. Company C, it's £489. Company D, it's £526. Company E, it's £819. And Company F, it's £715. What would the estimated and actual cost of two printers be from Company C? So Company C, it's £489, and we would round that up to £500. So 2 times 500 is £1,000, and the actual cost would be £978. Use estimations to calculate the following. How much more expensive would it be to buy 3 printers from Company A than 3 printers from Company D? What's the cost of buying 2 printers from Company F and 3 printers from Company C? So how much more expensive would it be to buy 3 printers from Company A than 3 printers from Company D? Well, it's 700 times 3 minus 500 times 3, or in other words, 200 times 3, which is 600. What's the cost of buying 2 printers from Company F and 3 printers from Company C? Well, that's 700 times 2 plus 500 times 3, which is 1,400 plus 1,500 equals 2,900. These are the profits for the printer companies for the last year. Estimate the combined profit of Company B and Company D. Round each company profit to 1 decimal place and estimate the total profits for all the companies. In the first question, the combined profit from companies B and D would be 4 million plus 4 million equals 8 million. And rounding each company profit to 1 decimal place would be 2.4 million, 3.7 million, 5.7 million, 4 million, 6.7 million, 2.9 million. And if we estimate the total profits for all 6 companies, well, that's just 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 7 plus 3, which equals £26 million. You want to calculate 204 times 38. The calculator gives you the answer of 986. Do you think this could be the correct answer? And can you explain why? To estimate by rounding, 204 times 38 would be 200 times 40. 200 times 40 is 8,000. And we would expect our answer to be close to the number on the calculator, but it isn't. So there must be an error made when we press the buttons. In fact, the actual answer is 7,752. Don't know the answer exactly. Estimating first can give you the confidence to know your calculation is correct. For example, 398 minus 85 divided by 12 is the calculation, and we can round each number so we can estimate the answer. So 400 minus 100 divided by 10 is approximately equal to 30. The approximately equal sign is this, and it's used to show the values have been rounded up or down. Estimate the following calculations. Here's a list of different calculations, and on the next 2 slides, we are going to examine the answers through estimation. So A, 17 plus 67 divided by 4.8 can be estimated as 20 plus 70 divided by 5, which is approximately equal to 18. B, 898 times 11.2 can be estimated as 900 times 10, which is approximately equal to 9,000. C, 509 minus 98.7 divided by 2.4 can be estimated as 500 minus 100 divided by 2, which is approximately equal to 200. And D, 987 plus 897 divided by 0.8 can be approximately rounded to 1000 plus 900 divided by 1, which is approximately equal to 1900. Calculation E, 95 times 48 can be estimated as 100 times 50, which is approximately equal to 5000. 140 times 385 can be estimated at 100 times 400, which is approximately equal to 40,000. Calculation G, 86 times 2.9 plus 3.9 times 49 is the same as can be estimated to 100 times 3 plus 5 times 50. In other words, 300 plus 25, and that's approximately equal to 550. And finally, calculation H, 0.65 times 1.5 can be estimated as 1 times 2, which is approximately equal to 2. Now remember, when asked in an exam to estimate or give an approximate answer, please do not calculate the sum exactly, as you'll not be awarded the marks. For example, if you are estimating the sum of 9 plus 9, if your answer is 18, it's incorrect. The question's asking you to round both numbers to 10 and answering 20. This method can also be used to check an answer. We've looked at how to estimate an answer. Now we'll look at inverse calculations. Inverse is the opposite or contrary position, direction, order, or effect. So the inverse calculation of addition is subtraction and vice versa. In other words, the opposite. And the inverse calculation of multiplication is division and vice versa. So for example, 8 plus 6 equals 14 could have an inverse calculation of 14 minus 8 equals 6, or 14 minus 6 equals 8. 8 times 6 equals 48 could have an inverse calculation of 48 divided by 6 equals 8, or 48 divided by 8 equals 6. Write two possible inverse calculations for the following. So here's 5 different calculations, and we're going to go through each of these one at a time. So number 1, 50 times 20 equals 100. The inverse calculations could be 100 divided by 50 equals 20, or 100 divided by 20 equals 50. Number 2, 60 times 30 equals 1,800. Could be 1,800 divided by 60 equals 30, or 1,800 divided by 30 equals 60. Calculation 3, 2,000 divided by 50 equals 40. Could be 50 times 40 equals 2,000, and 40 times 50 equals 2,000. Calculation 4, 150 times 350 equals 500. Could be 500 minus 150 equals 300, or 500 minus 350 equals 150. 5 would be 900 minus 500 equals 400, and the inverse calculations could be 400 plus 500 equals 900, or 500 plus 400 equals 900. A £40 jacket was in a sale with 25% off. What's the amount that has been discounted? The sum would be 40 divided by 100 times 25, which is 10. An inverse check could be 10 divided by 25 times 100 equals 40. What would be an inverse calculation for the following? So you've got A, 35% of 66, B, 75% of 1040, C, 85% of 950, and D, 20% of 1150, and E, 60% of 26. So first, we write down the first way of calculating it. For example, 66 divided by 100. Now this gives you the 1%. Then times it by the 35 would give you 23.10. How and why would you check this? Well, the how could be 23.10 divided by 35 times 100, which is 66. The why would be to check your answer is correct. Sometimes you calculate a sum and the answer is wrong. This could be a simple mistake to make by either inputting the wrong number into a calculator or an error in the calculating the sum on paper. It's best to practice to check a calculation before writing the answer on the exam. Therefore, knowing how to do this is important. What would be the inverse calculation for the following? So 35% of 66 equals 23.1. Well, the inverse calculation would be 23.1 divided by 35 times 100 equals 66. For B, 75% of 1040 equals 780. And the inverse calculation would be 780 divided by 75 times 100, which is 1040. And C, 85% of 950 equals 807.5. Well, it's 807.5 divided by 85 times 100 equals 950. And D, 20% of 1150 equals 230. Well, the inverse calculation will be 230 divided by 20 times 100, which is 1150. And finally, E, 60% of 26 equals 15.6. Well, the inverse calculation would be 15.6 divided by 60 times 100 equals 26. You worked 8 hours yesterday and 10 hours today. What's the percentage increase? Difference is 2 hours. 10 minus 8 equals 2. 2 divided by 8 times 100 equals 25%. To check this answer using an inverse method, it will be 25 divided by 100 times 8 equals 2. The survey asks 380 customers if they were satisfied with their current phone network provider. Of those asked, 312 said yes. What percentage of customers said no? Show your working and write the answer in the box below. So this is a question from the calculator part of the exam. And firstly, we would find the fraction. 68 out of the 380 customers said no. To find the correct percentage, we would do 68 divided by 380 times 100, which is 17.89%. The inverse calculation could be 17.89 divided by 100 times 380 equals 67.982. So try this question. A company asks its 230 employees if they would like more flexible working hours. Of those asked, 198 said yes. What percentage of the employees said yes? Show your workings out and write your answer in the box below. So what I'd like you to do is pause the video, have a go at answering, and then come back when you're ready to see the answer. Did you get it right? So that's 198 divided by 230 times 100, which gives you 86.09%. Now, 86.09% has been rounded up to 2 decimal places. Now show a checking method or an inverse calculation. Pause the video again and have a go and come back when you're ready to see the answer. Right? So the original calculation was 198 divided by 230 times 100, which was 86.09%. So an inverse calculation could be 86.09 divided by 100 times 230, which gives you the answer of 198.007. Now that's not exactly right, because if you remember, when we got our percentage, we rounded up to 2 decimal places, so therefore it's slightly out, but it's close enough to be sure that you've got the right answer. Now you should be able to understand multiples and factors, use approximations in calculation to provide sensible estimates, and use inverse operations or inverse calculations to check answers. Thank you for participating, and we'll see you on the next session.